Hello you guys, it is me. It is me, Lanice, and I am here for another video. Please excuse my hair is sticking up, but I'm just so proud to be able to have a little pony, y'all. I'm gonna rock it as much as I can. Nah, plus these twists aren't like my last ones. I went to a different loctician this time, so these 2-strand twists that she did with my dreads are different than the ones I had last time, and they're a little bit, the way that they are laying, I just can't really wear them down. But anyways, back to the task at hand. Hi you guys, my name is Lanice and I'm here with another video for you guys. So anyways, as you can tell, I got another twist out. So that's how this third month of being locked is going. I am still currently working at the hospital and still working on my mental health. And I think that's about all you guys need as far as a check-in right now. So today I actually just want to get straight to the point, and I want to tell you guys how to make extra money as an RN. Today I actually just want to get straight to the point, and I want to tell you guys how to make extra money as an RN. I hate to say it and I hate that it is like this, but I noticed that the videos where I speak about the type of money that you can make as a nurse or an RN, people for some reason gravitate towards that. I hate that because, or I dislike it because there are a lot of people who go to nursing school, become nurses for the money. And that is a terrible reason to get into a career such as nursing. That is not one of those jobs where you want to just be doing it for the money and you don't enjoy your job, because it's one of those jobs where if you don't really like it, you're going to be miserable. And being a nurse is too much of a risk because you have somebody else's livelihood in your hands. It's customer service based. It is knowledgeable based. You know, I'm not sure the words that I'm looking for, but you have to have good bedside manner. You have to know what you're doing and have confidence in what you're doing. And you have to be able to interact with people well. And all of those things require you to love your job and enjoy being at your job, because nursing is a stressful career, and it's also a career that is governed by licensure. So if you do something because you're having a terrible day, or all your days are terrible because you don't like your job, you make a mistake and you lose your license, and in most cases you lose your livelihood, because your job, your source of income comes from your licensure. They go hand in hand. It's not one of those jobs where you work somewhere and it doesn't require any type of license or certificate or anything. It's just a job where you can go and work, and you can probably find another job similar to it whenever you get done. But anyways, off of my rant. So before I was rudely interrupted by the memory on my memory card being too full. The point I was trying to make is that nursing is not a job that you should get into just for the money. But with that being said, I do know that not everybody is here because of the money, but you know, they really do enjoy the career, but they would still want to know how to utilize all of their resources whenever it comes to making money as a nurse. Like, some people just are in nursing school, they want to kind of figure out how to make money as a nurse when they become a nurse. But anyways, again, my long rant. So first I want to start off with what types of jobs as a nurse makes decent money. As an LPN, I made the most money in the nursing home, and I find it hurtful whenever people play, I don't want to say play, but kind of talk down or minimize the LPNs, especially in the hospital, because they're not really used in the hospital setting. But I hate that people minimize the role of LPNs, because LPNs are very vital to the medical community. You feel more useful, or you feel more appreciated in the nursing home, and that is reflected by the pay. Now, do not get me wrong, working in the nursing home as an LPN is probably the toughest type of work you'll do as an LPN. You have a large load of residents. You have the resident to nurse ratio is different than most other careers. Most other positions. And so of course they're also going to pay more for that. But working in the nursing home, you have interaction with all sorts of people, but you are very respected. I hate to say it, but you feel like a nurse when you're working in the nursing home. And I only say that because I have had 6 years of LPN experience. So with that being said, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. At times as an LPN, you will run into people who don't find being an LPN really being a nurse. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother time, but I will say that makes people feel less obligated to pay you what you're worth, or to really trust your judgment on anything. So I hope I made my point, but working in the long-term nursing care facilities were the most lucrative for me, because 1, they pay more, 2, it's almost, I hate to say it, unlimited overtime. And when you're working as an LPN, you know, your pay, your base pay is not going to be, I don't want to say it's not going to be that much, but it's not going to be as much as it would be if you were an RN. So even if you don't want to work in the hospital, I still suggest you get your RN. As an LPN, I'll always be an advocate of LPNs furthering their education, and RNs too. Like, I want to further my education, but you know, I'm all for, if I ask somebody if they want to further their education in their LPN, they tell me no, I'm like so gonna convince them, like try my hardest to convince them to go back to school. And I was like that even when I was an LPN, like, nah, you need to go back to school, girl, and I wasn't even back in school. But anyways, you feel the most like a nurse. You feel like a nurse working while you're working in long-term care. Again, we'll get into that another day. And you especially feel more welcome when you're working in rehab facilities, because the residents are a little bit more acute. When I was working on the rehab floor at a particular nursing home, I saw trachs. And that made me feel comfortable while I was in RN school, and even now as a nurse, being that I have had all of that experience, you know, with trachs, with catheter. Like, people think that it's easy to cath another human being, because you're like, oh, like their anatomy is just like my anatomy. I done seen all the, yeah, I done seen all the, yeah, you done seen all that you could possibly see just by looking at your own anatomy. But let me tell you, cathing somebody on a real live human, old, geriatric old resident is not easy. So then when you go into an acute care facility like the hospital, you know, if you have a young person, you can stick that thing right in, but if you have an old person, you already know how to find it, you know. So I had caths while I was in long-term care. I had trachs while I was in long-term care. I had people that had wounds in long-term care. I did get pretty, I don't want to say good, but I'm not scared of wounds. Another thing, if you guys see wounds, your first couple, you're going to like be like, oh my God, like some of these wounds, even in the nursing home, mostly these wounds, some of them can look really bad. Again, a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. But seeing wound care and having to do wound care in a long-term care facility made me more comfortable with large wounds. So when I go to the hospital and I have to pack a small wound, or I have to pack a wound, I know what type of dressing they're talking about. Like, I kind of already know the technique, whatever, whatnot. So I could go on about all the things that I learned in the nursing home, on a rehab floor. Again, we'll talk about that later in another video, but that is why you make the most money in long-term care. Facilities that don't require a lot of critical thinking, stuff like doctor's offices, especially because, jobs that don't require much critical thinking, and jobs that have really good hours like 9 to 5, no weekends, those jobs are going to pay you the least. Like when I went for an interview at an urgent care facility, and right off the bat the lady looked at my resume and she was like, well, I want to let you know that you will not be making what you make in the nursing home. You will not make that money here. And she said it with a serious face, like, I want to let you know that you're gonna be taking a pay cut, girl. Like, they're not gonna pay y'all, which is also why you don't really feel like a nurse sometimes as an LPN. But those types of jobs, medical facilities, urgent cares, those type of jobs are going to pay you the least. Now, somewhere in between, you'll find the call center nursing jobs, which I went for an interview. I didn't get that job, but I did go for an interview, and I found out that you can actually, as an LPN, work at certain call centers, and I believe that job was going to start at like $49,000 a year. So just remember that your base pay is important, but in most of these jobs you will be able to work overtime, which it'll still allow you to make enough money to be in a different tax bracket. Just know that. But I found that jobs like that, the call center jobs, they pay off salary, they do have decent hours, and they pay somewhere between a nursing home and a medical facility. You know, like I said before, they pay right there, probably right over the medical facility. And then between between that job and a nursing home, I would say I probably made the most money at the plasma center, as I stated in previous videos, at dialysis, because dialysis still requires you to critically think, but it's mostly it's focused on one thing. It's focused on the renal system. It's focused on, you know, dialysis. Now I will say that I've seen a lot of dialysis centers are starting to phase out LPNs, and that goes back to why I don't like when people minimize the LPN jobs. It's not even that they're phasing them out, but because they're not playing certain roles anymore as LPNs, RNs will always tell people, or I hear a lot of RNs to like CNAs who are thinking about going back to school, like, you don't need to be an LPN because they're gonna phase LPNs out. And let me tell y'all, in my personal opinion, this is just me, I'm not an economics major, okay? I don't know nothing about the numbers and the jobs and all of that stuff, but I will tell you, as an RN, an LPN, and also seeing how my grandmother was an LPN, my mom was an LPN, I was an LPN. That's 3 generations of LPNs, and they were saying the same thing when my mom was an LPN. They were like, oh, they're gonna phase this out. Like, there are not any RNs that are gonna go and work at the nursing home when they have the I don't know why I'm getting stuck on my words. When they have the opportunity, I guess, to go work in the hospital, because you have less patients, you have higher in acuity, but just to be honest with you, you don't see very many RNs in the nursing home. As that's again why you feel like a nurse in the nursing home, because everybody is coming to you. You are respected in that role of a nurse in the nursing home. So yeah, the dialysis and plasma centers, probably those were the tiers and how much money I made. Now again, whenever you work for the agency, you go to nursing homes. I haven't really found too many agencies for LPNs that aren't sending LPNs out to different nursing homes. I've never worked for one, honestly. And so as an agent, working for the agency, you are considered an independent contractor, so they don't take taxes out of your hourly rate. However, you are expected to file it on your taxes the next year, but they pay you more than the nursing homes, because you're working for an agency, which is they're sending you, this facility is very short staffed because they're paying a whole nother business to find them nurses, on top of having to pay their nurses that they're getting from these agencies more. You know, when you really think about it, as an LPN making $30 an hour in the year of 2017, or making $35 an hour in the year of 2017, 2018, like, those are good numbers, I will say. And working at an agency on top of working a lot of hours, like overtime, like I told you before, you can make some money as an LPN. And if all the nurses get hyped to this, or these agencies start offering benefits and still paying their nurses more than what these nursing homes are gonna be, those agencies are going to take over. It's gonna be no way that the nursing home is going to allow a whole slew of nurses that they're hiring from the agency, paying them 2 times more than they're paying their nurses in the building, and on top of them having to pay for their benefits out of those out of those checks before they find that out, get a little jealous, and leave and go and work for the agency. I have worked for a lot of nursing homes where people leave the nursing home and just go work for the agency and go right back to that same nursing home and make more money. 12 minutes later, as an LPN, in order to make the most money, you need to get hip to the nursing home. If you want to make money, get hip to the nursing home, and then get hip to the agencies. Most agencies require you to have a year of experience in long-term care before they send you to those areas, or to those places. But once you get that experience, you get your skills down, you feel comfortable being able to go from agency, different nursing home to nursing home, then I really suggest, if you would like to make some money as an LPN, to earn enough money to go back to school and become an RN. No, I'm joking. But if you want to make some money as an LPN, I suggest that's what you do. And I didn't think that I would enjoy working in a nursing home because I heard such bad things about it. And going to work with my mom when she worked at a nursing home, I was like, I'll never work in this smelly place. Like, this place stank. I don't see how you do it. I'll never do what you do. Turn around and put my foot in my mouth. But anyways, I didn't think I would like the nursing home as much as I did, but I actually do like the nursing home setting. I will never talk down on the nursing home facilities because they're really fun to work at. I'm not gonna lie. Like, being around old people all day is hilarious. They say whatever the hell they want to say. So anyways, as an RN, I have not had to work several different jobs to make the type of money that I was making as an LPN. And of course, I am an RN, so I'm going to make a little bit more money. I have an ADN, but I'm working at the hospital and I love it. Won't lie, but again, I'm not talking down on the nursing home, but I right now really want to spend my time at the hospital. And one worry or concern of mine, and when everybody used to ask me what kind of facility I'm going to go in once I get my RN, they would ask me, are you going to go back to the long-term care? Are you going to go back? Are you going to try the hospital out? And I already knew that I wanted to try the hospital out because I need the experience, but I didn't think that I would like the hospital just as much as I like the nursing home. Just right now, I want to get better critical thinking skills, so I'm spending my time in the hospital, and because it's so much more I want to do in the hospital, and it's like a drive. Like, it drives me, it motivates me to want to continue to go to school, and I need that motivation right now. So that is why I'm working at the hospital. And another reason why I'm working at another concern of mine was, as an RN, I didn't think that working in the hospital that I would be able to make the kind of money I was working within long-term care as an RN. Like, going to these agencies, I would get paid like $10 more an hour than I was getting paid as an LPN. And a lot of these agencies are paying their LPNs like $28, $30, $28, $29. So I go in, if I go in the nursing home, I start out as a base rate of $39, $49, $40 an hour, and I'm turning that down thinking that the hospital is not going to pay nearly as much, but I am making probably about the same amount of money in the hospital than I would working in long-term care right now, because the hospital is going to pay you some money. And I guess, again, my memory card cut off and it's making me realize I'm rambling. But you can make some money in the hospital as an RN. And that is why, another reason why I'm staying in the hospital, because that concern I had, it was not valid. And working in the hospital now as an RN, I can make just as much money as I do. Sorry, my leg's falling asleep. I can make just as much money as an RN in the hospital as an RN in long-term care. And even with them starting me out at $35, $40 an hour at the nursing home, I can still make a good amount of money at the hospital. And so the way that I make the money at the hospital is, like I said in my previous video, just in case you guys haven't watched any more of my videos on nursing, if you go to my other videos, you will realize that the hospitals are just as short-staffed as the nursing home, which is another reason why they kind of overpay LPNs in the nursing home, because a lot of people don't want to go there, and a lot of people, and they're very short-staffed. And not that people don't want to go to the hospital, but the hospitals are very short-staffed, especially right now with the Rona. I won't say the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So you have a lot of older nurses leaving the field because, they're more susceptible to catching the Rona. They're afraid of the Rona because they've never lived through anything like this, a pandemic. They've never lived through anything like that. And so it's like, it seems like the people that are leaving in a higher number as nurses coming in. First of all, nurses are not, you don't hire a lot of nurses or have a lot of people graduate from nursing school. Not enough people, because getting into nursing school is hard. And the obligations you have while you're in nursing home, it's not only hard to get in, but the problems that you have, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's hard to get in nursing school, and it's hard to stay in nursing school, period. So if you ever go to nursing school, make sure you're ready, because for one, you're taking a seat that somebody else who may be ready, you're taking a seat from them, because they accept only a certain amount of seats every year. But you're also going to waste your time and your money if you're not ready to go to nursing school, regardless if you're LPN, RN, whatever. You're wasting your time and your money. I don't even know where I was going with that. Like, this is going to be a 20-minute video, and I don't know if any of my thoughts are going to connect. But anyways, I don't remember the point I was trying to make, but the reason why we're so short nurses is because there are a lot of nurses leaving, and there aren't that many people coming in, and there aren't that many people coming in because it's hard to get in nursing school, it's hard to stay in nursing school, and people just don't know that nursing is not for them till it's too late. So with that being said, the hospital is very short-staffed also. I started in a larger hospital. I'm now in a smaller hospital, both in the same hospital system. But again, like I said in my previous video, you will make a little bit more. I don't want to say a little bit more, but you have more opportunities to make extra money in the smaller hospitals than you do in the larger hospitals. I believe, again, I don't know the semantics behind everything, but I believe that it's easier to make more money in the smaller hospitals because they have fewer nurses. They have their float pool is smaller. If you call in at a smaller hospital, you are putting them at risk for them being short a nurse, whereas at the larger hospitals, they always have somebody that they can kind of fill in for you. They always have PRN people. They always have their float pool, which of course they make a little bit more money. That's another way to get money as a nurse, join the float pool. But the larger hospitals aren't going to have those bonuses as much as the smaller hospitals because they're not as short staffed. Don't get me wrong. So let's get into the bonuses, which is another reason why I can make good money in the hospital. So for example, the first bonus that my hospital has right now, or it's actually over now, was the Christmas bonus. If you pick up 128 hours between I think the start date was September 20th and it just ended December 13th, this weekend. If you pick up 128 extra hours, which is about 11 extra days, 1 day a week, but you can get all your 11 days in the beginning. You can put them anywhere you want on your schedule. But if you pick up 128 extra hours, you get $1,500 bonus on your Christmas paycheck. You know that got people riled up. So that's one bonus. But also my facility that I'm working at, both facilities offered this, but this was this bonus was only offered at the larger hospital for a short period of time before they had enough, you know, nurses sign up for that first bonus, to where they didn't really need to keep all the other bonuses going. But in the smaller hospital, this particular bonus they still have because they're extremely short staffed and they keep extending it, keep continuing it, where I've seen it stop, whereas I've seen it stop in the larger hospitals. So this bonus is, they give you an extra $5 during that, $5 an hour, not extra $5 an hour, before they give you extra $5 an hour on top of your overtime pay, which is time and a half. So I'll use an example. If I have a $30 an hour base rate, any extra day that I pick up outside of my 3 days a week that I have to have in order to be considered full-time, any extra day that I pick up, if I make $30 an hour, I'm going to get $45 an hour for that extra day. So then add that $5 bonus on top of that $45 a day. That's $50 an hour at 12 hours that one day. You're able to pick up 2 extra days a week. You're not allowed to work more than 60 hours in a week. So but just imagine having 2 days at $45 plus that $5, which is $50 an hour. $50 an hour for 24 hours on 1 week. If you do 5 days both weeks, that's $50 an hour for 48 hours because you're getting an extra 24 on this week and an extra 24 on that week. You do the math because I don't have a calculator in my hand, but that's a good amount of money only working 5 days a week. You still get 2 days off. Now don't get me wrong, I don't suggest anybody working 5 days in a row unless you set your schedule up to have 5 more days off in a row and before you start over, which will kind of, you know, make the numbers change as far as how many overtime hours you get on a paycheck. But I do not suggest anybody working 5 days in a row unless they have 5 days off in a row. And I'm finding out how to make my own personal schedule now because I'm new to making my own schedule and I have to, it's something to learn. But anyways, but I say that because working 5 days a week in the hospital, 60 hours a week, is not easy. So don't always think about the money. Think about your health, think about your rest, think about your well-being. But just imagine how much that is if you work an extra day a week, or you work an extra 2 days a week, but then you take you a 3 or 4 day weekend and then pick up 5 days in a row. You know, that is a good amount of extra money. And again, since I went off on my rant, but that's 2 bonuses. I'm gonna have to cut the video right here. So you get your time and a half. You get the $5 on top of your time and a half, which is $50 an hour. But at both hospitals, this third, well, really 4th bonus, because we had the Christmas bonus, but this 4th bonus or whatever, this 4th bonus was in both the large hospital and the small hospital, whereas it stopped in the large hospital and it's still going in the smaller hospital. For each extra day you pick up a week, you get $190 bonus. So just easy math, $12 an hour times 10 hours is 120. So that's like, I don't know the number, like, hold on, I'm trying to do this in my head. That's $120 extra dollars, but then like 13 times 12 would be 144. So that's like an extra $15 an hour that you're getting on top of your time and a half, which is $45, your $5 extra bonus for picking up the extra day, and you get 190 extra dollars for each day. You pick up 2 days a week, that's 380 extra dollars a week. If you do that 2 weeks on your paycheck, that's an extra 780, 760, extra 760 on your paycheck, an extra $700 on your paycheck. Granted, they will take a lot of taxes out of your check, and you still got to pay for your benefits, but it makes everything a lot more affordable. And for me, because I'm a single parent and I have decent sized bills, I have a car payment, I have insurance, I have rent, I have my cell phone, I have my renter's insurance. Like, I have a decent amount of bills, but it allows me to live comfortably. It allows me to live comfortably in my situation, but it allows me to live comfortably, you know. And I don't feel like too many people who are nurses, if they're working like that, are not going to be able to live comfortably. My mouth is dry. Unless they are in extreme debt and they cannot, like, what they're making is not enough to pay their bills, then they got to be in extreme debt. They need to become a couponer, like something, like, seriously. But again, I guess it also depends on what comfortable is for you. So maybe I shouldn't be so harsh. However, that's a decent amount of money. And making that a month, or making that a year, or making that a week, whatever, however you want to look at it, if you want to look at it short term, long term, whatever, makes me feel comfortable with my decision in going to the hospital and taking that leap of faith, because I think that plays a huge role in LPNs who go back to school for RN. I feel like that's a very common question that they're asked, and it's a very hard question, depending on your issue, or, you know, what you're trying to do. Because some people get out of RN school and they choose to go back to the nursing home because they're afraid that the hospital is not going to pay enough. And I did have that fear. Like, I couldn't afford a decrease in pay, and it was killing me to think that I was going to get a decrease in pay and work a job that's harder, or what I would consider more challenging. And instead of staying where I was comfortable, staying where I knew I was going to make money, but I took a leap of faith. I said, okay, I'm going to do what I know I need to do for my future. And God was like, okay, I'm going to bless you because you made the right decision. Or even if it wasn't right, I took a leap of faith and he rewarded my faith. And I am still able to make more than I would be as an RN in long-term care. Right now at the hospital, I'm making more money than I would working in long-term care. You know, that's I can picking up 2 extra jobs, excuse me, my mouth is so dry, picking up 2 extra days a week, it really does, it helps. It definitely helps your income. So to everybody out there who stood through all of my rants and made it through the end of this video, I hope that I was helpful. I hope that I kind of broke down how to make money as an LPN, how to make money as an RN, and I hope I also helped you helped you make the decision as to what type of facility you would like to work in. If it was a question, or if the money was a reason why you wouldn't consider going to a different facility, instead of just finding what you're comfortable with and not basing it off of pay. I just hope that I helped you guys like understand that. Like, I feel like I kind of rumbled or like just kind of talked here and there and here and there, but I was really trying to make good points, I guess. But anyways, I hope that it was helpful for you guys, and I hope that you would be nice enough to subscribe to my videos, to my channels. Subscribe, click the bell notification so you will get notifications when I post another video, and just continue to watch. You know, if you have a sister, cousin, brother, nephew, niece, grandma, mama, daughter, whoever that is interested in becoming a nurse, who wants to know what it's like being a nurse, what it was like being an LPN, being an RN, anybody you know who has the slightest bit of interest in nursing, tell them to subscribe to my channel and send this video to them. Even if it wasn't helpful for you, send this video to them, you know, because it might be, and I need the views. So I hope that it was all those things for you guys, and I just want to thank you for watching, and I hope you liked it, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.